Hello lads and lasses, I'll get a possible question out of the way before I crack on with the video. For me, having a yeast file at hand in the event of a possible stoke ferment. There you go, names the files. It leads me into freezing an expensive yeast. I remember getting a yeast a long time ago, and then it was about £15, and I thought, sod this, £15 every time. So if I can get at least 4 or 5 of these using the procedures, cryopreservation, and eventually make a starter, well, to be honest with you, it's a no-brainer. There's plenty how-tos out on the net, but this is my journey for the first time to attempt warts and all. So follow me in the journey, and without faffing on as usual, let's get into it. What is cryopreservation? Preservation? Nah, I'm reading it on the script. Cryopreservation is a process that preserves organelles, cells, tissues, or any other biological constructs by cooling the sample to a very low temperature. Well, layman's terms, freezing yeast. Well, guys and girls, it was an epic journey from yeast harvesting to episode 2, the yeast starter, and then now it's going to be part 3. I'm going to use this yeast slurry, so I will catch us all later. Well, lads and lasses, welcome to part 3 of the epic journey. This is going to be cryopreservative, yeast preservative, as in freezing yeast. Some of the gears I've got: sterilised syringe, obviously measuring jug, scales for measuring, pure glass glycerin, distilled water, clean and sanitize vials, and then from pot 2 yeast starter I've got the yeast slurry. Without puffing on, Brian, I'm going to put it all together and get back to you. Catch you all later. Right, lads and lasses, I've just spent 3 hours trying to work out ratios. At the end, I struggle with anything with numbers, like dates, weights and measures, percentages and ratios, etc. So, before my head went to shut down, I'll use the following ratios: 50% yeast slurry, 50% glycerin and distilled water, which equals 75 mils of glycerin and 225 mils of distilled water. So this brings down to 50-50 mix in the 50 milliliter vials, which is going to be 25 mils of the yeast slurry, 25 mils of the preservative. I'll do one slow and the rest time lapse. Wish me luck. Well, lads and lasses, I hope that made sense. Yeah. So the next stage is actually freezing them in the freezer. So I'll get onto this now and I'll catch you all later. Right, lads and lasses, the next stage is, I would say, isn't necessary from what I've heard, but what you call it, can only help. Using isopropyl alcohol, I've got 95% alcohol, and I'm going to do a bath for it. Apparently it actually slows down the freezing aspect of it. Yeah. And then straight into the fridge, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Here we go. Oh. Honestly, take, and the rest we and the rest of the vials are one, lads and lasses. It's the next day. Let's have a look at the cryopreservation
Cryopreservative frozen yeast if the isopropanol bath trick has worked. Looking at them, the bath trick has worked. Now, trying to be as quick as possible, wipe the vials, name them. You can use tape or lucky bands to keep them in order. Back in the fridge. Most modern freezers have an automatic defrost feature, so I use ice blocks to help whilst it's doing its defrost. I don't think millions of yeast cells in one vial is enough for pitching yeast for the next brew. So I'll probably use 2 vials and start a yeast starter for the next few days before brew day. At last, an epic journey from part 1, which is the yeast harvest, part 2, the yeast starter, to part 3, cryopreservative, and you can look forward to brew day with at least 2 vials in action in a yeast starter. Thanks for watching, and hope my problems with my speech wasn't too annoying. I try my best. Until next time, look after each other. Take care. Bright at Twisted Magpie Home Brewery signing off.